Hey everybody, welcome to another Stitch Upon a Time tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to add appliques to a knit bodice. So we have a really fun pattern coming up, and it does include some really cute applique designs. And so I wanted to take some time to go through and show you how to do this so that y'all are prepared when the pattern releases. I'm so excited for this. It is a little bit, so before we get started, I do have to tell you that there are so many different ways to do this. And like so many other things that I do, and you'll often hear me say this, I don't believe that there is any 100% right, perfect way to do any particular thing. I think that as long as it works for you, it's functional, it's sturdy, it's not gonna like fall apart in the washing machine, and it doesn't distort the shape of your pieces, then I feel like you did it right. It works for you, right? So the method I'm going to show you today is one that works for me with what I have on hand here. If you want to go to the store and buy a bunch of different supplies, then there are other methods you can use. What I am using today is single-sided fusible interfacing, and then various knit fabrics. So basically you want the fabrics to match the stretch of the garment that you're sewing, like the bodice. But I am using knit interfacing. It does not match the stretch. So I do that on purpose so that it doesn't lose its shape while I am adding it. It does have some stretch, but not tons. However, I'm not covering the whole bodice with this fabric and the interfacing, so it's not going to cause any sort of fit issues. It's just in small parts. So you will need, a bodice, and you will need fabrics for cutting out your appliques. And if you want to, you will need interfacing. Knit interfacing is preferred. There are plenty of also fusible fabrics that are like double-sided fusible. Those make things a little bit easier and they help things stay in place better, but they are not necessary by any means. As you'll see, I go through and I'm not using double-sided fusible interfacing, so I'm not fusing it to the bodice of my garment before I am sewing. So, who's ready to get started? Let's go.
Can I have gums?
Yes. Actually, you need to eat dinner.
What's for dinner?
I don't know. I have food already made for me. You can have flautas. Is there Easy Mac? Easy Mac. There's chicken nuggets. Flautas, chicken nuggets. Tomorrow we're having shamrock ravioli.
Yes, tomorrow is
Super
birthday.
Yep. There's chicken nuggets, salsa biscuits. What's up, bud?
Can I do helping hands?
For what?
V-Bucks.
Not today.
Aww.
You have, remember we talked about this. You have to do all the normals before you do helping hands. Your room is not clean.
I have to clean my room?
That is a normal thing that you're supposed to keep your room clean. That's a regular thing.
We are not good at that, though.
I know, so you have to practice it. No, don't do that.
It's hard for me
It is, and that's why you have to practice, because it's challenging. Stop. Then don't. Lucian, you know better. You don't get special things when you don't do the regular stuff. If you can't do the basic stuff, like helping out, keeping your room clean.
I have to go. If I want to do that, I have to go upstairs and clean for like a whole night.
Well, you've had plenty of time today.
I've been doing school.
And then you went up and cleaned-ish. But only for 1 hour.
You said.
Mm-hmm. That was the minimum. Nobody's ever going to tell you you were doing too much. I'm never going to be like, oh, yeah, definitely don't keep helping. I'm never going to say that. Stop. Well, you won't have the privilege if you behave like that. Lucian, that's enough. I'm done. Stop. That is unacceptable. You can be upset because you're not getting your way, and that is fine. But you will not act out. You will not be disrespectful. You will not do any of that. Do you understand me? I am not here to give you everything you want. I am here to make sure that you grow up to be a good human. And sometimes that means not giving you everything you want. Move past it. So this is what everything looks like once it's all cut out. You see I have the interfacing there on the back. I need to re-iron this red piece because it's not sticking. I cut out the sun. What I ended up doing is tracing this one just with a water-soluble marker and cutting out with scissors. These because getting into these little areas here with a rotary cutter often means you have to kind of go over. Close your rotary cutter when you're done. You have to go past the point where you're cutting, and I didn't want to cut into my piece. So I traced it with just a Crayola water-soluble marker, and then I went in with my shears and just cut out the piece. None of these pieces are perfect, and I'm okay with that. I think sometimes I really do appreciate a little bit of imperfection. I think it's fun. I think it gives it character. And since these are only for me, I'm not super concerned about them being perfect. Of course, if it was for somebody else, I would be making sure that it was as perfect as possible. And again, I'm going to go around the circular part of the sun here with some decorative stitching also, just to give it a little bit extra and really bring out the sun shape so it doesn't just look like a big old star. The next step is going to be to put these on our shirt. So we are going to cut out our shirt piece, and then we will come back here and I will get them all pinned on and ready for stitching. All right, as you can see, I now have them laid out on the front bodice of my shirt, and I'm just going to go through and pin everything in place. I like to pin it a lot in these just to be sure that everything stays where it's supposed to. And then when I sew, I like to go nice and slow. I try not to pin necessarily where I'm going to be sewing or where I'm going to have to be removing a lot of pins, because I like, and I try to pin in multiple directions. That's also another thing that's important, to be sure that things are shifting, or not shifting, rather. I really don't like to put pins where I'm going to have to take them out. That's not always possible, and that's fine, just because I like to keep things as straight as possible, and try to prevent as much shifting as I can. But again, it's not perfect, nor do I expect it to be, but I do try to at least make it look reasonable. Flatten that back out. Okay. I might put a couple pins in there again before I start. And then on here, I'm just going to pin along there. I'm actually going to take these off because I'm just going to pin the pieces that I'm going to sew on first. And then I will come back and get those pinned on after I sew. But I wanted to show you the process so you have a better understanding of it. The rainbow I'm going to pin in the rainbow, in the direction of the rainbow as I go, and we are going to sew all the way around. Another option especially for the rainbow would be to put it all the way down at the hem, then you don't have to necessarily sew the ends because you'll hem them if it was like down here. But yeah, my favorite part of things like this, like applique and whatnot, are really just, it's totally an artistic thing, and it's up to you how to do it, what is correct for you, because, and I talk about this a lot, but I feel like it's important, the true way to know if something is correct for you specifically, and not necessarily like textbook wise, is, does it work for you? Is it functional for you? Does it turn out the way you want it to? If any of those answers are no, then check your process and go back through and try again. Do some research, figure out something that maybe might work a little bit better for you, and just keep going. This is a process that works for me, and so this is how I do it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you or be perfect for you, but it is a functional method. So now what we're going to do is go and outline all of these, sew them, and this, and then I will come back and show you that, and then I will be sewing these two other little rainbow pieces on. So I am sewing with a stitch length of 4.5, a zigzag stitch, a width of 4.5, and a length of 2.0. And I am just going really nicely, trying to make sure my fabric doesn't stretch, trying to turn my fabric as I go, and just being kind of as gentle as possible. When you get to this corner here, you're going to do a hard turn. So what you do is you get to the point, you stop, lift your needle with your needle down, stop with your needle down, turn your whole project, until you're right where you want to be again. And then you stitch along that side. And then we're going to do that again. Oops. I want to end on the bottom. And you can see it's not too wavy and it's nice and stitched on. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and then we will add the other stripes to the rainbow. You can see my sun here, and I had some fun gold thread, so I added a little decorative stitching there. Nothing crazy or too fancy. Alrighty, so we have the sun. You can see I stitched in the circle there. And it's not even too wrinkly. Look, I did a decent job of not stretching the fabric, especially on this curve. It's a little bit harder the more angles you have, just because I wasn't using the that double-sided adhesive interfacing. It's much easier with that, and it tends to stay a lot better, but that's okay. Clearly it's not dissuading me, nor will it ever, probably. So I am just going to be pinning on the next stripes. I'm just going to do one stripe at a time, I think, though, because if I pin them both, then the pins from one stripe will be from like the bottom stripe will be in the way while I'm pinning, or while I'm sewing the middle stripe. So I don't want to do that. If you are looking for where these fabrics came from, the main bodice fabric here is the cashmere waffle from Millie Mae. I believe it is sold out though. And let me see, the puffy bullets, these are from Sincerely Riley. And this red Liverpool bullet, this is from a local fabric shop. They had the very perfect red one time, and I went ahead and bought the whole bolt because I never run into the exact right red, and I was super excited. So I did that.
That's so cute.
Isn't it cute?
Yes.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
I'm glad. And then that's the middle stripe there that'll go on.
Oh, the little pink one.
Yep. All right, so we are going to sew this one on. I'm not going to come back and pin the next one on for you. Just know that you have to do the last one too, and then I will come back and show you when they're all sewn on.
I love that little one.
Alrighty, so as you can see, the sun is sewn on. All 3 rainbow stripes are sewn on. That is how you put the appliques onto really anything. Of course, as I said before, there are so many alternative methods, but this is the one that I use with what I have on hand right now. So I don't want you to feel like you have to go out and buy like all these sort of special supplies, but that it will turn out nicely even without, especially if you're just making this for yourself or for your kid. I try not to worry about like overly perfecting things. You can see like even sewing them on, they're not perfect, but like I said, I feel like that adds a little bit more character and having all the different textures. I kind of prefer it. I don't like things to be like super, I guess, like perfect. I don't know why, I just don't. I like the imperfections because it feels like that's real life. So that is how you do that. Thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I hope that this was a helpful tutorial. I cannot wait for this pattern to release. I'm so excited about it. I hope you enjoyed your little sneak peek of it. Keep an eye out next week for its release if you're watching this in real time. If you're watching it in the future, the pattern probably already exists, and you're welcome to go scoop it up. If you're watching it in real time as this video is released, then the pattern is going to be released next week, the 3rd week of March 2021. So is it the 4th week? I don't even know. Is it March? Who knows? But anyways, I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that I see all of your applique work in the future. Go ahead and tag us on Facebook and Instagram. I always love seeing all of your creations. So until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye.